So I think it's been about a week, and if you remember from the last segment, I showed you the guinea grass that would cut, and I was saying how I wanted to let it, I could probably get one more cut out of this, but otherwise I'll let it keep some height to get through the winter. Well, this is it after about a week, after when you saw it last. I think I showed you that it had some very fast regrowth, but you know, you can see how these shade tolerant high succession grasses really bounce back. If you let them recover and then cut them, they come back like this. You know, maybe I won't even cut this again before winter. I might even just leave it as is. But what I will do is, now that it's taking the position, I'm going to start taking out some of these other things. So it's what we call selective weeding. So let's say you've gotten to a certain level of succession. This is fairly high for grasses. And then you've got all this other lower succession stuff around it. And basically, if this grass is ready to take the position, that other stuff is no longer needed. So we're going to come in and basically take it out. Just chop it off, pull it out, put it on top. And it looks like I might be able to put some strawberries in here instead. So you can have strawberries cohabiting with the guinea grass, as long as I keep up the cutting regime enough. So yeah, it's going to be strawberries and guinea and the eucalyptus coming on. Okay, moving on. We also went through here a week and a bit ago, and you can see how much this banner grass has grown. I mean, this is its peak growing season, so it's really noticeable in 1 week, just over 1 week, maybe 10 days. It's almost to the point where we're going to cut it. It's really, really close. Let's see if I can find one up here. I think this is one of the older clumps. Yeah, so it's now 6 foot tall. It's just a little bit, you know, well, it depends on the slope, but yeah, 6 foot basically. And you can see it's still green, still juicy. Hasn't started to harden to form a cane, but it's very close. Still a blue-green color. Hasn't started to harden. So we're going to cut this really soon, probably in the next couple of days. I'm going to chop it all, and I think this time. Let me think. I mean, I'll play it by ear when I see it on the day, but I might end up putting it on this side because I want to do some selective weeding over here. And also you've got all the Rhodes grass doing a good job over here. And there's all this lantana here to push up onto it. So this spot is the bit that's lacking the organic matter. I want to get in and do this section here nice and thickly, right through there. So it forms a nice barrier on this side for any creeping grasses to get into these tree beds here, which are really pumping along. It's amazing growth. Now check out this row. I was just cutting some grass here. Remember this? Remember I showed you the pumpkin? Well, hasn't that expanded? It's also going nuts. So you've got great combination here. You've got the banner grass coming up. So that'll be another, say, it'll be at least 3 weeks before we cut this. We've got a bit of guinea grass. I ran out of planting stock. There's a little bit in there. It's better to have a little bit than none at all. I'm slowly building up stock. And the pumpkin takes up the rest of the space. It's doing a great job. There's plenty of pumpkins under here. Check this out. There we go. And remember this spot I showed you with the jackfruit and the white sapote? Well, it's time for a little bit of management because we do want them to kick on. And now it's not really hot weather anymore. It's good weather. So there's some banana, which we'll leave. Some castor oil plant, some Mexican sunflower, bit of pigeon pea, and our trees are nestled in here. Now, because we just want to push them on a bit, just pull off some leaves. I should just snap off this Tithonia, scrumple it up, just pack it in. Normally I do this with a blade, better, cleaner cut, heals faster, starts growing faster. But you know what, you do what you can where you can. The important thing is that we've given it a prune. These are very hardy and forgiving plants. I'll just pull off some of these mucuna leaves, bit of nitrogen, bit of pigeon pea also, but nitrogen, pack it in. There we go, serviced. Now that'll get a chance to get more of the summer sunshine and build up its reserves as much as possible. This jackfruit's a bit weird. I don't know if it's going to make it. So it's got this variegation on the leaves. Normally if I found variegated plants I would just kill them on site. Because they're, well, I really don't like, I'm not into ornamental plants. I want plants that are as strong as they can be. So yeah, but we'll see. Sometimes they grow out of it. So next spot, remember I showed you this? I showed you it before it was cut, and then I showed you after I just cut it. Well, this is after about a week. You can see all the sorghum has come back up again, reshot from the base, and the cooch hasn't. Cooch is lagging behind. And so this is a great opportunity now to come through and, well, it'd be great if I could plant guinea grass or Mombasa in this, but it's still not ready yet. So what I'm going to do is borrow from some land next to it. So I've been basically letting all this pasture here just grow up, and then I've just run through it with a whippersnipper. It's like shearing a sheep, just scything it side to side, and it comes up in big clumps. Like, check this out. Loads of it. So now I'm going to pack this around the on that line with the sorghum. We're going to sprinkle it through so it forms an extra thick layer. Now will help suppress the cooch even more and start to create the conditions so that when the Mombasa is ready, we're ready to plant straight away. So we've raked up a fair bit of this grass, very rough job, just did it with my hands. Transferred it to here. So now this has got a thick layer of mulch between the sorghum, and that's going to really speed up the improvement of this soil. As we saw in the other video previously, where this mulch has been on here permanently for several months, this soil has softened up and become just beautiful, and that's what will happen here too. So the idea is in future we'll have tree rows, fruit trees coming up out of here, and these areas here in between, they'll change from being biomass rows, where we are primarily growing cut mulch to put onto the tree rows, and it all go in reverse. Suddenly there'll be enough biomass from the trees that, whether it be pruning of fruit trees like this, look at this massive mulberry tree. Now that needs a savage haircut, and when that comes down, that'll be reduced in size by half. That's going to produce enough mulch to cover half this area. That's just one tree. And then you look at these acacias, the same. A lot of these need to come down. We cut right back so they're like this, and they'll produce a heap of mulch on here. But we want to get it to the point where there's already some high succession grasses here and high succession plants, and we're not just feeding the cooch. But once this soil softens up and becomes like that soil I showed you before, we can actually grow some crops here. So I'm looking at something like papayas, garlic, growing like parsley, growing ginger. For this I'll probably need to drip irrigate, but the point is that this soil will turn from being completely useless, rocky, stony soil into something I can actually make part of a living off. And it'll be constantly fed by the prunings from all the trees around. So lots and lots of lignin, lots and lots of biomass. If I'm really going to grow veggies and stuff, I might get myself a chipper. Normally I don't chip my wood at all. I just lay it, across the slope or up and down. I just basically organize it, but I don't chip it. But for vegetables, I would consider chipping it.